Hello everyone, and welcome to this video where we're going to talk about the newest update that came with a minor addition that's going to add a whole new aspect to the game, including different data nodes and things that we can utilize them for. We're going to get into that in this video. There's also some other fixes we're going to be taking a look at. And before I begin, I just want to mention that we are here at the piping station for a reason. Now, this is a creation made by Sheppy, Yuli, and myself, and because of a number of reasons, including the factor that the game works at different processing speeds on different computers. Therefore, when you're trying to use the pipeline to transfer fluid, it does not work properly. In fact, your values of whatever you're trying to transfer will be different between locations. Now, with this update, we can finally fix the pipeline and fix the pumping station and make it work once and for all. What is the update? Well, it is the flow rate update. So as you can see, it says it's a minor update including some subtle reworks, fixes, improvements, but pumps, valves now have logic nodes that provides flow rate information. We always had flow rate as sort of a value that we could see when we hover over things, but we never had it as a data node that we can actually utilize. We could put now into our microcontroller and have a bunch of things happen. Now it says generally the update's small, but it'll be useful to many players, so it's worthwhile checking out the patch notes below. Now I do want to mention that Sheppy5 and myself, we've been talking about this for so long. You could see here is our conversation where Sheppy says we should ask about flow rate sensors, and that is something that I asked. I went ahead and asked that in one of the question and answer videos. Now that's not all that this update shows. It says that join us again in 2 weeks for another minor update with minor features, so super excited for that and what that might bring. They're going to continue with minor updates, major updates, and the new game. They say that there are some great updates on the way, and that we expect will have really positive steps that players will love. So we can't wait to see what that may come out to be. I'm going to shoot some suggestions and ideas out maybe if I decide on making such videos. Now down to the patch notes. So the feature, flow rate logic node for pump and valve components. We're going to check that out in the game. This one is something that I've been asking for so long. It's to have doors be able to be opened from a seat. Now it doesn't, make sense you're sitting in a seat, you can't go through the door, but there are certain situations where you want to be able to operate a door, and now you can. So that is an awesome one. This is also another one down here. It says that they reduce the volume of the pump sound effects, and in addition to that we get some fixes throughout the game, so you can check out the notes for that, but these were the features that I kind of took key note of. Now we're going to see what this looks like in the game. Here we are with our test platform, and if we just search up fluid, you can see a bunch of fluid things. We are going to go down to ones that we know for sure are going to have this, which would be the flow rate. So let's start first with the flow rate valve, and now we have the flow rate number logic. So previously, when it would just kind of be controlling which direction your fluid goes in, now we can actually take a data node and see the liters per second of the flow rate passing through it. Now what about pumps? Well, we get flow rate on the pumps too. So here is the pump, and we can easily now see the flow rate node here. Now the manual pump has it as well, so that's quite useful. The impeller pump has it as well, so it seems that we got blessed with all the pumps getting it, even the small one here. I wonder how that works when it's this small. Oh, I guess there's only one data node in the middle of it, so that works. And of course the large one. Now the nice thing is the pumps themselves were just updated with this feature, so now we could utilize this and make changes to our creations without having to replace anything. Let's just see if we just jump through them. So here so far nothing has it. These are the heat exchangers, so they don't have it. Catalytic converter doesn't. Desalinator doesn't. Oh, and the fluid flow valve, we knew that already. The radiators don't, which is fine. The pump jet doesn't. This does, so we get our fluid on or off valve. That now has the flow rate. The fluid on-off valve manual has the flow rate. Sweet. This is way better than I thought, actually. This is quite useful. And the fact that it's going to be on all of these things. The variable valve, of course, has the flow rate and the gas relief valve, and presumably then the liquid relief valve. So we can now get data nodes from all of these things, just quickly running through the rest of this. The pumps, of course, we covered, and that's it. So I may have missed something, but from what I see, that is most likely it in the fluid bit. This is talking about spray angle and stuff, so I can't see it being used there, but that is pretty good. That's a decent set of equipment that we got now that can read the fluid rate. And what can that bring us in the game, you may ask? Think about in a ship like this, where we can use fluid flow rates. Well, of course, the fuel efficiency. Now you can have a very quick and dirty and easy fuel efficiency calculator because we have liters per second right now passing through the fluid. You can have ballast tank management. You can track how fast things are flowing in and out of your ballast tanks. Your gas tanks, if you have a cargo ship and you're filling up your tank, your hold, you could see how much things are flowing through there. And not only that, it actually gives us some other information that we could possibly use as variables. We could set all kinds of variables and see how much, let's say for example, fluid can flow through a pipe. What if we add 2 pumps? What if we add 3? What if we do this and that? And it kind of just gives us a whole new data set of things that we could use. And not only that, you can now put it with PID controllers and have it actually communicating and balancing out and potentially making its way to the most efficient and optimized system. If you have a water pump jet vessel, there is a possibility that there is a flow rate that is optimal for your water pump jet. There's a couple things I want to test out with this new flow rate node. Namely, because this part itself has a fluid in and fluid out, if I turn this part around like that, such that now on one of them it's fluid out and this one is fluid in, will that get me a different reading of flow rate? Will it get me, for example, a positive or negative rating if I do that? So I'm just going to plug this one into here and this one into here. Now, what I have inside the actual truck itself are these gas relief valves. So I'm just going to plug one into, may as well do one for each as well. And in fact, what I'm going to do there as well is turn this one around too. So the one that's closer to the front of the cab has both of those modules turned around. So we're going to run that test there. And then another test we're going to run is the actual pumping in and out of the system. So we have the pumping in and pumping out. And one other thing I'm kind of curious on is whether or not those values are the same as what we'd be putting if we had just a regular flow rate or fluid type of valve. So let's just put a fluid valve in there. So I placed this on-off valve with a flow rate going to this bottom one there, and these are attached to the pumps. Over here, each one of these is attached as we had. So when we go here to the creation, you'll see that these ones have opposite numbers. So remember, these numbers right now are the ones inside the creation. And if I turn this dial, you could see that they are opposite. So it in fact only reads the fluid in number, and that's what it reports on the flow rate, so not the fluid out. So keep that in mind as you're using this. It's not using the fluid out, it's using the fluid in as the flow rate. If we go here, first of all, turn this on. Now this pumps up, and if we grab a hose and attach it to here, and attach it, let's say, to a port that does not have this, and then turn it on. Okay, so these numbers kind of, okay. They're balancing and they're matching. Now this one does not have the relief valve open. Now that it's open, you can see that we're getting the same numbers. Now if we turn this off and turn this on, these are actually getting different values. So what is going through that pump is not what's going through here. So there would be some things to kind of dig into and look into, as this is a brand new sort of data point that is not yet familiar to me. But it is quite interesting just to run quick tests. You see, these ones are the same. So that would imply that when we're pumping in, either this one's depressurized or my pump in system is for some reason inefficient in here and it's being slowed down. So I wouldn't know which one. They are quite identical, so I'd think that it would come from the other vehicle. But that is some kind of interesting data node. That would be cool to find out at one point what is going on. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for the support and for being part of the community, for watching the videos, for commenting, and for subscribing to the creations, all that good stuff. Expect more videos, more creations, and as always, happy Stormworksing everyone. Thank you and see you next time.